Hello everybody, welcome to this very unique, different type of video from Elite FPL. Is it different, Steve-O? Is it any different from any other normal driving video you've done? No. Copying Yelena, are you? Mark Southerns, even Gianni Batiste? No. I just cannot be bothered to record a Poxy preview video on a tin pot YouTube channel. So I thought, why not make, what was it, kill two birds with one stone and record while drive my car to Torquay Seafront. Why not? While listening to Kerrang radio. So you never know, there may be some music played at some point. I mean, it'll be taken down by YouTube probably. Sometimes Kerrang plays some decent music, sometimes it plays some decent music. Usually System of the Down Aerials, or Bowling for Soup, all the bad, what was it? The girl all the bad guys want. Fucking hell, how can I not remember the name of that fucking song? Moron! And then what's another popular one that they always play? Oh yeah, Guns N' Roses, Paradise City, or Metallica's When the Bell Tolls. Fucking awful. Oh, can't be saying that. Can't be saying what you think, Steve-O. I think you're fine, I can. And while I'm doing this, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'd literally just recorded 4 minutes and then the stupid phone decides to fall out its little holder there. It's brilliant, isn't it? That's what you get for paying some typical cheap side shop that sells, you know, those shops that sell those thousands upon thousands of mobile phone accessories and vapes. Yeah, I bought it from that for £5 and I've never used it. The only one I do use is if I use it, is in my cabinet just to the left there. But I've made some notes thanks to this Native American wisdom, as David Brent says. Her book of Native American wisdom says for the first time, you can. I keep doing that line actually. He's got a more attractive wife. I always apply that to Az and Yelena. He's got a more attractive wife. If Mark Southerns is ever doing can't be saying that either. When Mark Southerns is doing some motivational speech at Fantasy Football Fest, and he's stood on there and he's talking about Az. He's consciously saying out loud, maybe he's got a more attractive wife. Maybe I would like to play FPL. You know, even if I didn't have any arms or did have any legs, you know, I still would play FPL. Although in my situation there, if I didn't have any arms and legs, I wouldn't be playing FPL. So, yeah, there may be some road rage in this particular video. If you are one of the few people that listens into the Total Steedo podcast, there is the odd, I think it happens every 2 seconds, a road rage part of your journeys where some moron will be cutting you up or driving like a twat. But thankfully I'm in Devon, so it's very rare that particularly happens. It still happens, but there's a certain breed of species that doesn't drive in Devon or doesn't exist in Devon, and basically they're the ones that cause the problems. The only people that cause problems in where I'm here at the moment is old people that are at least in their 70s and they're shitting themselves driving. Anyhow, so yes, game week 16. Now me and Jason you may have already heard it by now, but me and Jason will have been on the Form is Temporary podcast with Roberto and Chris, looking at the game week 16 game week. And yeah, it's a very interesting one with some of the games, especially on the Saturday. It's unlikely because I'm going out with Dale, and I don't know how long I'm going to be out with him for, but I may be doing a 3 PM watch along. I don't really want to be doing a Saturday night reaction. There's no Ray, and I'll be honest, I just can't be bothered to send a message to someone to say hi, or as Yelena said in her interview with Gary, when some muppet decides to send her a message, hey sexy lady. Fuck off. Cretin. It just makes you sick. Hold on a minute, there's a Green Day song playing. Should we play it? Well, I recognise it. It's called Holiday. Never heard of it. Yeah. Yeah, we know this song. Yeah, it's not that great. I'm really hoping a song comes on that. Like, yeah, when Yelena was saying about creepy, well, she didn't use the words creepy men, but I'll use it for her. I could use other terminologies, but I may use those stories for the Total Steeler podcast. Use that as material, slagging off men. That's what we like to do on the Total Steeler podcast, slagging off men, cretins. Anyway, yeah, maybe I could send Yelena a message. Hey, I was actually going to do it last night on a voice message. Just go, hey, sexy lady, want to join me for a Saturday night reaction? Or more specifically, the preview. But I don't think I'll be doing the preview because I'm out on Friday. This is why I'm actually doing this video, to be honest with you. I'm out with my closest friend. Or you can eat Chinese. So, you know. And, yeah, so I won't be doing the stream on Friday. Jason, well, it's unlikely he's going to be doing a solo stream. So, yeah, I'm just doing this, and basically we're going to talk about Gameweek16 like I'm going to be doing on the Roberto podcast, because it is an interesting game week within reason, coming off the back of, for me, one of the worst game weeks in my history. It officially turned out, as I said on a Patreon podcast, that I'm minus 17 overall. So overall, if I hadn't done any transfers, I'd be 17 points better off. But, as Triggerlips commented on my video, that actually, to be fair, you have got players now which are of high-end quality, which is true. The likes of Saka, Trent Alexander-Arnold, to name two. And I'd like to think that... Really? I'd like to think that these players in the long run are gonna pay off, because let's not fuck about here. Haaland, Lewis, Dunk and Johnson out for Saka, Jackson, Trent Alexander-Arnold and someone else who I've completely forgotten about is a major... Oh, Timber is a major upgrade. You'd think. Most people are advising or saying that they're good moves, and me and Ray have agreed that we don't need to make any transfers for 2 to 3 weeks. Well, I've said 3 weeks, if not longer. So I'm just so sick to fucking death of every single week. I don't think we're chasing points. I don't think many managers are chasing points. I think the Haaland owners are, hence why I got rid of the tosser. Oh, can't be saying that. Do you know what that's off whenever I do this? It's Homer Simpson when he's talking about God and the reasons why it's good to be a Christian or something like that. And God just goes, you got a point there. But yeah, I don't think we're chasing points per se, but it does feel like every week that when someone hauls, you know, some content creators or me will be like, oh, I need to get that player in, or, you know, that player is someone I want to get in, and every time they seem to do something is when I haven't got them in, and when I do have them in, they don't do anything. Saka, I'm looking at you. Well, that'd be a good thumbnail. Hold on a minute, I didn't realise how close. Fucking hell, boy. But certainly from my point of view, I feel that my team is set up fine. I think the one player that I want to get in and have a front three of Pedro, Isaac and Jackson. It's the reason why I said Cunha. So I want to get rid of Cunha for Isaac, but I've looked at it and it would mean getting rid of either A, one of my midfielders, or B, getting rid of Trent, which is just ridiculous for now. I want to see how well Trent performs over the next few game weeks specifically. But certainly for me, leaving my team as it is for the next few game weeks. I mean, can I just show you the view that I've got? Or more specifically, this is the view that you guys would have if I was to switch the camera. It's nothing, is it? It's nothing. Can't see anything because there's that thing blocking the pillar. So yeah, I'm leaving my team as it is, and essentially what I'm going to do is just see how it all plays out, because to be honest, I think I've been doing all right actually in FPL. It's just unfortunate that there are certain people like Blonde, for instance, that just, you know, yeah, you could argue, yeah, they are good players at fantasy football, but it just, everything they seem to touch at the moment is turning to gold. And it's really frustrating when I feel for the first time in many seasons where I feel I'm legitimately making calculated moves, and you could argue even template moves. It's not paying off. And the only regret that I've had so far this season is owning Haaland for the amount of time that I did, which, to be fair, holding him through the fixtures that he did have isn't such a bad thing. I just think I should have seen the wood through the trees and maybe gone, you know what, Kevin De Bruyne isn't there, Haaland's going to suffer, there's no Rodri either, Haaland's going to suffer from this. Maybe, Steve, you may want to let go, like a lot of good FPL managers, like the likes of Blonde Red, Firetog, and the people in the YouTube chat league have done. Of course, mentioning Firetog, remember the Super Cup coming up at some point this year. Do you know, this is going to be one of my Room 101s, everybody. People that don't make it clear that they're going to be crossing a zebra crossing, like this muppet here. They're just walking on the street in a straight line and they're just doing an instant left onto the zebra crossing. No indication whatsoever. You're going to be crossing at a zebra crossing. Make sure you're making it clear to the traffic, at least by looking that you're going to be turning. Like I say, that's going to be my Room 101, because I'm going to be on FPL Juice next week with Gary FPL Had a Beer. That'll be fun. Bringing on one of them. What was it? What was Ash saying earlier on about the fact that they want to bring a more enjoyable, what do you call it? A more enjoyable experience for Gary. I thought, well, yeah, brilliant. While having the most depressed man on the planet coming in the studio, quite literally. But yeah, certainly from my point of view, I feel with this upcoming game week, what the fuck is this shit?
Tonight we're gonna make love. You know how I know.
Business Time by Flight of the Conchords. Who? Sometimes Kerrang plays some absolute fucking shite. Really does. Yeah, so with this game week, I'm feeling quite confident, to be honest with you, regarding some of the fixtures, i.e. Arsenal at home to Everton, Liverpool at home to Fulham. We then have Chelsea at home to Brentford. Oh, wait a minute, the history suggesting that's going to be a really difficult game for Chelsea, and that may be the game where I play Flecken. Well, I say that, I mean, Verbruggen's at home to Crystal Palace, and then Flecken's away at Chelsea, where I can see Flecken doing his usual thing of doing fuck all against the likes of Fulham, Southampton, Leicester, but when he's got someone like Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham, Man City, he'll go and get you a 20-point bloody haul. So yeah, that's one of my decisions. But certainly, yeah, this week has got some decent fixtures. Even Monday evening, I don't have any Bournemouth players, but that could be a profitable fixture for players that own the likes of Semenyo, Clivert. I mean, Clivert's the player that I'm putting forward for one of my under 10% owned players. He's only owned by, what was it, 5.5 or 4%? Same as Tavernier. He's only owned by 0.4% of the game, one of them being Alex Volo. And, or has he owned, no, it is Tavernier that he owns. So, certainly, you know, I think that Bournemouth game could be quite high scoring, even though, ironically, at home, Bournemouth keep it quite tight. And you can fit through that gap. You're in a Nissan Micra, for crying out loud. It's not that small a gap. Maybe I could record, I mean, this is the view crap here. It's not great, is it? No, we can't see anything, Steve. I just turn it back. Jesus God almighty. Yeah, so Bournemouth at home, they score a few, they don't concede many, whereas West Ham away from home, ironically, they're not too bad away from home. I can see that being quite high scoring. In Bournemouth's favour, specifically, I'm thinking maybe going 2-1. I'm thinking of going, 2-1. Yeah, should be fun. Not, as Gareth says. When does he say that? That'll be a quiet night in. Not. No, that'll be a quiet night out. Not. I'm meeting up with the lads tonight for Chasers. That'll be a quiet night out. Not. But certainly, I can see this game, hopefully, this game week. But you've said this 1,000 times, Steve. This game week's going to be profitable? Yeah, you've got it right. You've got it right there. Well done. Well done. So, I'm trying to hold up time here because I just want to be able to do the score predictions when I'm not actually driving, to be completely frank. And if there was a better view that I could give you of where I'm actually driving down this narrow country lane, there is something I could say for the Total Stevo podcast listeners, but let's just say a car park that I'm driving past, I once had some relations, as Steve Merchant says on XFM. I'm having some relations here. That sounds more like your JR impression. Gotta be true. Gotta be free. Bluetooth helps me in the bedroom department. Is that really your best JR impression? Pretty much, yeah. The only decent impression I do is Chris Tarrant. Chris Tarrant. Fucking mental. But game week 16 for a lot of people, I think is going to be a week of not needing to do any transfers unless, you know, you've got some. I think, in fact, this time of year, Christmas is the type of year where you really kind of want to avoid. Do I want to be in first gear or second gear, lads? Or women? Yeah, it's the kind of time of year where you don't really want to be making transfers for the sake of it, Jason. Even though I personally think Jason's -8, so for you to remind her, so Jason's -8. Yeah, Jason's -8 is very, very good. The players that he's brought in are exceptional. Chris Wood, Isaac and Kirkes. Although Kirkes now is probably going to get either a clean sheet, which is most likely, or B, some form of attacking return. And, of course, I haven't even mentioned Bowen from Monday evening. I after the stream on Monday, I just wanted to shut down, listening to XFM, or more specifically, listen to XFM with Ricky, Steve and Carl, and just forget about football. And I said it on a Patreon podcast, didn't I? I then just, fuck me, these roads are mental when it comes to potholes. I thought it was bad in London, but round here, Jesus. Yeah, I said it on a Patreon, I I wanted to just escape from football and think about it. And then I did this stupid thing of, it got to 2:30 in the morning when I just woke up naturally, and I stupidly went to see what the results were, and I did see that Bowen got the assist and scored a goal, and I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, this is just a fucking joke. And to be 6 points because of a 100th minute, his own mother, as Danny says in Wernham blog, yeah, in the 100th minute, Bowen to get a yellow card. But either way, he ends up 6 points behind Palmer. Is fucking disgusting. I'm really proud that punt, shall we say, paid off. I mean, Triggerlips said some funny things about that particular Bowen captaincy, and the fact that, you know, and that was my captaincy. I did change it, yes, but officially that was my captaincy that I did. And to be only 6 points behind Palmer is just, it's a joke. It is legitimately a joke. And for me to come out of it only 6 points behind Palmer, yes, I still had a terrible game week. I'm not gonna reverse my car while chatting and say that yeah, I got away with it, or more specifically, I had a good game week, because I didn't have a good game week. It was fucking abysmal. It was shit. In fact, again, as I keep stating, it was probably the worst game week in my history, unfortunately. And you couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up. The 1 week to have a bad game week, so to speak, is the one game week which was probably the worst ever in my history. Like I said, being minus 17 points down from all my moves is just, it's absurd, to be completely frank. It is legitimately absurd to be 17 points down from your transfers when you've brought in some really good top quality players. And for Bowen to come through in the end with 12 points? 12 points, could have been 13 if he didn't get that stupid yellow card for where, I'm assuming it was for abusing the referee or kicking the ball away. I mean, it's the 100th minute. You know, you see on there, it's the 90-minute plus 10, and you're like, in what way did that game, not that I watched it, need to have 10 minutes added of extra time, if not longer? What is this rubbish? Smash Mouth with Walking on the Sun. I'm just going to pause it there a second. Well, we're outside and the weather is blowing an absolute gale. It's great, isn't it? I'll just show you my view. You will be able to see something now. Look at that hut there. Yeah, it's blowing a gale, so I'm going to have to make this quick. You probably won't be able to hear me through the wind. We can, Steve. We're not deaf. We're not blind. I'm literally going overboard with the David Brent impressions. I think it's Graham that's challenged me on Patreon to, if he beats me in the Patreon League, which he will, he said to do a whole Patreon episode as David Brent. I don't think I could. I think it's almost bordering on impossible. Yeah. All I keep doing with David Brent impressions is these four walls don't fit. Anyway, let's just get on with the predictions and get the fuck out of it, shall we? Yeah, we'll do that, Steve. We'll do that. Arsenal versus Everton. In fact, yeah, I'll give you my prediction. I'll give you the history. So, I'm predicting Arsenal to win this 2 or 3-0. The history's going 2-0. Arsenal have won 5 out of the last 6. They've kept there's been 4 clean sheets in this fixture, 3 of them for Arsenal. And the only one for Everton was in a 1-0 win. Liverpool-Fulham. I have a feeling Fulham do score in this, but Liverpool should be winning 2 or 3-0. History's going 3-1. There has been a lot of goals in this game. In fact, on 5 out of the last 6 occasions, both teams have scored. And yeah, Liverpool have won 4 out of the last 6. They got Newcastle versus Leicester. Ruud van Nistelrooy hasn't lost his last 28,000 games in charge of any team. Hasn't lost with Leicester, didn't lose with Man United, and now he's playing Newcastle, who don't score any goals at home unless they're playing Liverpool. To put in perspective, before the Liverpool game, they'd only scored 5 goals at home and conceded 5, and then they conceded fucking 6 in one match, or score and concede 6 in one match. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think Newcastle just get through. I'm going to go with 2-0, 2-1. The last 3 wins, or the last 3 games win this fixture with Newcastle, have ended with Newcastle keeping a clean sheet. So you Hall owners should be in for a good time there with a clean sheet. Wolves Ipswich. Wolves should be winning this game. Should be 1 or 2-0. I'm probably going to predict in the Super Brew 2-0. In fact, no, fuck that. I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1 to Wolves. History's going 0-0. There's been 3 0-0s in the last 6 fixtures. And 5 out of the last 6, Wolves have kept a clean sheet. There's been 3 0-0s and 2 1-0. Sounds like Burnley, to be honest with you. Have you heard that stat with Burnley, which I wrote on X yesterday? Out of 19 games, in all competitions, in 19 games, there have been 16 ending with a team keeping a clean sheet. 13 of them being for Burnley. We've had 5 0-0s and been involved in 4 1-0s. Fucking dire. Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest, they're going to win this. Aston Villa, just coming off the back of Europe, they never seem to do that well after European games, and I think they will continue that run. And I was thinking 1-1. I'm going to go with Nottingham Forest to win 2-0. Brighton Crystal Palace, the history's going 1-1. 4 out of the last 6 have ended as 1-1, but Brighton are unbeaten against Crystal Palace in the last 6. I do think Brighton should be winning this game. I'm going to go 2-1. Now this is the big one, in the sense of it's hard to predict Man City versus Man United, but I do expect Man City to come through, mainly because they're at home. I'm going to go with Man City to win 2-1. 2-1. However, this game is very, very tight. The history's predicting 2-1 to Man City. Man City have won 3, Man United won 2, and there's been 1 draw in there. And the games have been quite tight, between like a goal in it here or there. Chelsea versus Brentford. Chelsea should be winning this. I'm going to go 2-1 to Chelsea. My favourite score this season, 2-1. History's going 2-0 to Brentford. Brentford are actually unbeaten in their last 5 versus Chelsea. They've won 3 and drawn 2. There's been quite a few clean sheets in there as well. So, like I say, I may just play Flecken in that particular fixture. Southampton Spurs, look, let's get real here. Tottenham should be winning this game. I'm going to go with 3-1. History's going 4-2 to Spurs. It's been 28 goals. 28 goals scored in this particular fixture. Only once there's been a game that's had 2 goals in it, which was a 1-1. In fact, even in the Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa game, there have been 26 goals scored in 6 games. One of the games ending 5-5 and another ending 4-3. And obviously on Monday evening, we've got Bournemouth versus West Ham. Like I said, I'm going to go with Bournemouth to win this 2-1, 2-0. History's going 1-1. In fact, the last 3 have been very, very low scoring. There's been 2 1-1s and 1 1-0. Right then, let's get up. just get you a clip of show you a view of the rock just over there. I'm going to get the fuck out of here, and I'm just going to go on a walk and just listening to Word and Blog. See you later.